A perpetual contract has no expiry date, so something else has to keep it tethered to the spot price. That something is a payment made at intervals by one side of the market to the other. Almost every explainer quotes the formula and stops there, which is a shame. The formula is where it gets interesting. It contains a clamp, and the clamp does something to the number on your screen that the summaries skip. I'm Rachel from ChainSense. In the next 4 minutes, the 3 prices involved, how the gap between them is actually measured, and what the formula does with it. A perpetual carries 3 prices at any moment, and they are not decoration. Each has a job. The index price is the outside world. It is built from spot markets on other venues and answers one question: what is this asset worth away from here? The mark price is the one that matters to you. Your unrealized profit and loss is measured against it, and so is your liquidation. And the last traded price is what the contract just changed hands at here. Here is the catch, and it costs people positions. The number on the ticker is usually the last traded price. The number that closes you is the mark. Watching one while being judged by the other is a very common way to be surprised. The premium is the gap between the perpetual and the underlying, and how you measure that gap matters enormously. The naive method would be to subtract one last traded price from another. Venues do not, and the reason is that both numbers are fragile. One thin trade at a strange price would move it. Instead, the premium is built from the impact bid and the impact ask, the price you would actually get if you moved a meaningful size into the book. It is weighted by what is resting there, not by whatever printed most recently. The consequence is worth holding on to. A single anomalous trade does not move the premium, because the premium was never listening to trades. It was listening to depth. Now the formula itself, and it is short. The funding rate equals the premium, plus a clamp applied to the interest component minus that premium, bounded at plus or minus 0.05%. The interest component sits at 0.01%. 3 moving parts: a premium, an interest component, and a bound on how far one can pull the other. Venues publish this. It is not reverse engineered and not a secret. Binance and Bybit both put the arithmetic on their own documentation pages, and that bound has a consequence. It is the reason the rate you see behaves the way it does, and it is large enough to get an episode of its own 2 days from now. For today, the formula stands as written. Where does the money actually go? Nowhere. It moves sideways. Funding is paid by one side of the market to the other. When the rate is positive, longs pay shorts. When it is negative, shorts pay longs. The venue is not a party to it and takes no cut. OKX, Binance, and Hyperliquid all say so in writing. Bybit does not say it, and this is the better evidence. Bybit refuses funding refunds, and the reason it gives is that the counterparty would also have paid or received the corresponding amount. That is an operational policy, written for an awkward conversation, and it tells you more than any marketing page would. 2 last things, and both get stated as universal when neither is. First, the interval is not a law of nature. How often funding is charged is a venue decision, and venues differ. Second, the snapshot. On most venues, whoever holds at a particular timestamp pays or receives in full, regardless of how long they held. Which sounds like a property of perpetuals. It is a convention. Deribit has no timestamp at all. It accrues continuously and quotes an interval rate only so you can compare. There, the question, was I holding at the snapshot, is not answered differently. It is malformed. And one arithmetic note. Annualizing funding is simple multiplication, never compounding. 0.05% every 8 hours is about 54.75% a year, not 72.9. So, 3 prices doing 3 jobs, a premium built from depth rather than trades, and a short formula with a bound in the middle. That bound is where the next episode starts. Funding isn't a fee, it's a payment between traders. Subscribe to ChainSense. I'm Rachel. See you in the next one.